What's going on YouTube? I'm back with another video, and this one's gonna be a little bit different. So I haven't done a video like this in quite a while, and it's just gonna be one where I sit down and talk to you guys for a little bit. So I'm not exactly sure what the title of this video is going to be, but it is going to be the top 5 things that I have learned in my time in the hobby, or the top 5 tips for beginners getting into the hobby, something like that. So it's just gonna be 5 of the biggest things that I came up with that I think people should know, or just like I said, tips for beginners. So that is what this video is going to be about. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this and take something away. And before we do get into the video, I just want to thank everyone who has subscribed. If you have not subscribed yet, we do a ton of giveaways all the time. We just had a huge 5,000 subscriber giveaway, which was so awesome. I appreciate all the support. The channel has been growing like crazy, so just can't thank you guys enough. So if you have not subscribed yet, I would appreciate it if you did that. And if you comment on the video or leave it a like, that really helps the channel grow as well. And with that out of the way, we will go ahead and get into the giveaway from the last video, and then I'll be right back and we'll get into these 5 tips. All right, guys, so we are ready to do our giveaway from the last video. So we just had this one card, this Tua, that I pulled from a bonus pack from Wolves. So we are gonna go ahead and get our link, and we will pull that up in Safari. We'll go ahead and get our comments here. Get comments, and that was 149 comments, so not too bad. And let's go ahead and get our winner on that card, and that is going to be Jack Crumb. And he said the Sekou is still pretty sick. Are you going for the rainbow? It's a good time to buy his stuff, I think. I would definitely agree with you. Now, especially now's a good time for anybody with the market uncertainty going on. But anyway, I appreciate you leaving a comment and supporting the video. If this is you, go ahead and send me a message on Instagram or email with your address, and I will get that card shipped out. And now let's get back to our video. All right, guys, so now that the giveaway is out of the way, we're ready to go ahead and get back into this video, and we're going to talk about the top 5 main things that I have learned from my time being back in the hobby. And that's been about 1.5 to 2 years now that I've been back and making videos on YouTube. So I've learned quite a bit in my time back. I collected cards as a young kid, but then kind of got out of it in like high school and college, and then honestly just kind of randomly got back into it. Just came across some videos on YouTube and really had no idea that sports cards had the kind of value that they did. So that kind of brought me back into it, and then I just got immediately hooked. So like I said, I've learned a lot of new things in my time in the hobby, back in the hobby that is. So there was so many products, so many different parallels, and so many different companies, Panini, Topps, Upper Deck, that I just had no idea about when I got back in. So I made a lot of mistakes. So hopefully you guys can take something away from this video. So the number 1 thing on the list, and I guess I shouldn't say number 1, these are really in no particular order, but the first thing on the list is to stick with what you know and like. So here lately, I have been getting a lot of questions from people reaching out and wanting to know what player they should be buying, or what product they should be buying. And it's kind of frustrating because I'm like, guys, just buy what you like and buy what you know. So the main thing that I know, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with if you watch a lot of the videos, what I know is basketball. I've been a huge college basketball fan my entire life. So I know a lot of guys that are coming out of college, and I feel like if you stick with something that you like, for me, like I said, I like basketball. It's just much easier to keep a close eye on it. So if you think of a certain player has a lot of potential and they could blow up, it's just a lot easier to follow than, for example, I don't watch baseball really that close. So I will open some baseball products, and I know, the top couple rookies to get, but then I just kind of lose interest in it, and I end up going to local card shows and selling some baseball cards for super cheap, just because I don't really care to keep up with it. I don't follow the prices and who's blowing up and who has potential and all that stuff. So it's just much easier for me to keep up with basketball. So that would be my first tip, is just to stick with what you know and what you like. And then the second tip is most players will have a hot market at some point. So a prime example of this, just from this year. Now, it could take some players a year, 2 years, 3 years to finally blow up. But a prime example of this is There are 3 players that come to mind for this season in the NBA. Tyler Hero started off really, really hot, so his prices early in the season skyrocketed. And then another player that kind of blew up once he started getting some playing time is my guy, Sekou Doumbouya for the Pistons. There was about a month time period where his prices absolutely skyrocketed. And if you saw my Sekou collection video, I basically sold one Sekou card, and that pretty much brought me to even for all of the other Sekou purchases I made, as far as Prism goes at least. And then another player that has blown up here recently, before the NBA season kind of got put on hold, was Kobe White. So he had 3 30-point back-to-back games, and his stuff absolutely skyrocketed. So the main takeaway on that one is just to be patient and know that most players, not all players, but a lot of players will have a hot time in the market. Another example of that, now it took this player a little over a year, but that is Devontae Graham. So his prices were absolutely dirt cheap his rookie year in the league. And then this year for the Hornets, he started getting a lot more playing time. They traded Kemba, and he was kind of the main point guard, and he was producing, and his prices absolutely skyrocketed. So that is the second tip, is just to be patient. And if you have confidence in a guy, just hold on to them, and hopefully they will have a hot time in the market. And then the number 3 tip or thing that I've learned is that not all products are created equal. So you pretty much have your top products like Prism, Optic, and Select, and then you have a lot of other products like an example that's coming up here soon is Court Kings, that should be released in April. And while Court Kings might be a really fun product to open, it's not going to provide a lot of value. So with that being said, if you are a big fan of Court Kings, this kind of goes back to my number 1 tip: collect who you like and what you like. So I am a huge fan of Select. Now Select isn't quite on the same level as Prism or Optic. It's close, but Select is my absolute favorite product. So I like that the most. So I had to get a box of Select. So if you are a huge fan of Court Kings, you love the way it looks, go get a box of Court Kings. Just know, if you don't pull a Ja or a Zion, you're pretty much, there's no chance you're going to get your money back. Another example of this is Obsidian. So the MSRP from 1819 on Obsidian was $100, and I did open a couple boxes of that myself, and it's a super fun product, but you only get 6 cards per box, and now the price of Obsidian is right around $300. So you'd be paying $50 a card, and unless you pull a Luka or a super short print LeBron, there is absolutely no way you're getting your money back. So just know that not all products are created equal. That's one of the main mistakes I made my first year back in the hobby. I just went completely all in. I was buying every single product that came out and ended up blowing a lot of money because, like I said, I made a ton of mistakes my first year in the hobby. I had no idea what product was, provided the most value or what was the most sought after. So I was buying every single product. I bought Court Kings, like I said, a couple boxes of Obsidian, which I bought 1 box of Obsidian. I bought multiple boxes of Prism Mosaic, which luckily Prism Mosaic did provide, some decent value, but I had no idea at the time. So just know that I've kind of gotten a little more selective with the products that I'm buying, especially in the 1920 class, with products being so expensive like they are. You just have to be a little bit selective, and again, buy what you like, buy what you know. And then the 4th tip is, this is a big one: don't be afraid to lowball. So go on eBay. If sellers, if they accept best offer, do not be afraid to lowball. This one drives me crazy when a seller will have a card for $100. I'll offer them, just a complete example. I'm not saying I do this on every card. It depends on the card for sure and the player. But say you offer $40. And it's not immediately declined, and then they just come back and decline it and don't make a counter offer. That drives me nuts. I'm like, why do you accept offers and then don't make a counter offer? But again, do not be afraid to lowball, because you never know what they might be willing to accept. You never know what's going on. You know, I hate to say it, but the seller might, you know, be hard up for money and really need some cash. So if they're asking $100 or best offer, you offer them $30, you never know, they could accept that, or they could counter with 45 and you're getting, you know, more than half off. So the worst that a seller could do is just decline the offer. So there's really no risk there. If you know, I guess the main thing there is just don't be afraid to lowball. If I get a lowball offer on my listings, I just go ahead and counter. Like, you know, what's the worst I can say? No. So that is the fourth tip, is do not be afraid to lowball. And then the last tip I have is to pay attention to timing when buying products and cards. So this is probably if I had to rank them in order, I would say this is probably the number one tip. Typically when products come out, you know, say Prism comes out on January 1st, those cards are going to be sky high probably until February. And that's just a complete example. But typically cards come down about 3 weeks to a month after the release date, or when the next product comes out. So say Prism comes out January 1st and then Optic comes out January 15th. Those Prism cards are going to be very, very high, because that's all everyone is focused on. And then January 15th, Optic comes out, then the focus shifts. So just pay attention to timing on when you pick up singles and then also products. So for example, another example of that would be right now, football is in the off season. So a lot of football cards and a lot of football products might be down right now just because they're not playing. People, you know, kind of forget about what's going on and, you know, shift their focus to basketball and baseball. So that is a huge, huge thing. You can get some really, really good deals during the off season. Now, on the other hand of that, if you are looking to sell cards, I would not sell on the off season. Sell while the market is hot. So if you have some basketball cards, sell while basketball season's going on, and the same for football and baseball. So there's kind of two sides to that. You want to sell while it's hot, and then you want to buy when it's not so hot. So those are my top 5 tips. You know, I know there was some points of this video where I kind of rambled, but I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and hopefully you took something away from this. Definitely in the comments, let me know if you you know, agree with anything, disagree with anything, or if you took anything away, like I said. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be back with more videos soon.